We're making a bigger push for it. We want to have more Hollywood. We want to have more big announcements, more big names show up. So that'll be exciting as well. The one thing that sets us apart at South by Southwest is the ability for our fans and for our consumers to come in and meet and mingle and talk directly with their heroes, the people who make the games they want to play, or the toys they want to play with, the comics that they write. So that's something that we're really priding ourselves on this year, is giving you first-hand connection with these people. They'll be able to be interviewed on the floor, upstairs. So we're really excited about that too. Some special kind of sessions I wanted to call out, in case you haven't seen the schedule on South by's website, is we have NASA's coming here with a huge production, both on the show floor with how they're using gaming to kind of drive the technology behind their space exploration. So the Mars rover project will be here. They have a big NASA telescope that's going to be in between the Palmer Event Center and the Long Center for you to come, be a part as well. Really excited about that content. We've got Telltale Games, the creator of The Walking Dead. Gearbox Software is going to be here this year. We've got a sneak peek of the new Shadowrun game that'll be here from Harebrained Schemes. The old Hall at SMU will be here representing. Some hardware companies like the Oculus Rift VR headset will be on the floor this year. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but Julie Ehrman is one of our keynote speakers. Huge win for us to be able to get a gaming keynote this year, so I'd love to have us fill those seats. We have Tomb Raider, Crystal Dynamics is going to be here, both on the floor, showing off the Tomb Raider game and the actress who plays Lara Croft. Upstairs we have some other content with that. The new Gears of War will be on the floor this year. And then to close the show out, we have our now annual cosplay competition. It was very popular last year. We're excited it's even bigger this year. So I'd love for you guys to show up for that too. The other thing that's really good is that all the parties and events that are happening at the Palmer Auditorium every single night, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, again, free and open to the public. So we've got some great bands coming, sponsored by Associated Press. It's going to be great. So by all means, come for that. The last huge thing and biggest change we've made this year is we've built in gaming-specific workshops to happen for the gaming convention. These workshops will be held at the AT&T Center, which is up at the UT campus. This is something brand new, something that we hope we'll be able to kind of expand upon in years going forward. But for instance, Epic Games is going to be doing an 8-hour-long Unreal workshop on Monday the 10th. Okay? Unity Technologies is giving a Unity 3D workshop on Tuesday the 11th. And then we have kind of some startup company called Moddit, who has this great new tool for having consumers be able to create their own games, design their own levels, and then kind of work together online to create gaming content that will also be going up on Monday. So we'd love to have those seats filled. If you'd like more information on the workshop specifically, email workshops@southbysouthwest.com or come talk to me and I'll get you more information about it. Stay tuned on the website. We're going to have a gaming competition. Basically, if you sign up, we will be providing to the winners some complimentary passes to these workshops. So to anyone you want to go to, you'll be able to go to for free. Again, if you need more information on that, come see me. But we're really excited this year. I think that we're building a show that we know we're proud of at South by. I want you to be proud of as the game developers, our public, our fans. We want to continue to grow. We want this show to be something huge. I want to be able to go to my bosses and say, we need to use more space. I need to have more room. The only way I can do that, though, is if you guys come out and help support us. So that's really all like that. Thank you.
I'm really proud of South by Southwest. I think I went to the first South by Southwest screen burn with like the 6 companies, IGDA being one of them.
At ACC?
Yeah. So I'm very happy that it's getting bigger and it's getting better and it's becoming more productive for our industry. Next up, we're going to have Steven Torrence. I'm going to hope I pronounced his name right.
Yes.
Are we good to go?
We are. I just got to move this. Just gonna make it small enough to do that. It's not that, it's the display. Its resolution is set to 800 by 600. It's not easy reading with what I thought. Set up today. There we go. Steven Torrence is going to talk to us about the theme of computer culture because we actually have a culture and it's been around for 40 years. Holy crap. Here he is.
Holy crap, indeed. Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, so as she said, I'm Steven Torrence. I'm with the Museum of Computer Culture. We're a local nonprofit centered around the preservation and proliferation of computer history generally. And as much as I'm excited about screen burn, I'm going to go kind of in a different direction from the future. We're going to head into past. First up, I want to go back to 2005. This is me at probably the pinnacle of my experience as a teenage gamer. Obviously, I came up in the era of first-person shooters and real-time strategy. I kind of liked Halo. I mean, it's more a passing thing for me more than anything. But I'm going to go back even farther than this. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 1982. Wrath of Khan has come out, Conan the Barbarian, and a little game called Ultima II. How many of y'all remember playing this? I know it might be you. Put your hands up, people.
Ask how many people worked on it.
Anybody know that? Yeah? Okay. So this was obviously created by the eminent Richard Garriott. He later made enough money off of the sequels and origins, etc. to buy his way into space, which still astounds me. But it must have been a pretty good game, right? I've never played it myself, and I understand it's one of the most significant fantasy RPGs, or early fantasy RPGs. Pretty much set a lot of precedents that we saw later in Final Fantasy, Legends of Zelda, etc. But I really like that it shipped with its own full-color map of the world. I just think that's so cool. So fast forwarding back up into 2010, a couple of organizations that I've gotten to work with, the Dolph Briscoe Center for American History and the UT School of Information. Both of these organizations have efforts geared towards preserving retro hardware, retro games, and the Dolph Briscoe Center is actually a video game archive, has a collaboration, ongoing collaboration with the iSchool to do projects related to preserving video games. So in 2010, they got interested in Ultima II and asked a very simple question. How do you keep this game that many consider to be so significant and so influential to later games? How do you keep it around? How do you preserve it? So they did a lot of research and talked about to a lot of communities. The internet was a huge resource to them, more so than any academic literature out there. And they came up with the idea, okay, you can start from kind of two general strategies. Well, you get an Apple II Plus, which was the original game that this came out on, or you get one of the emulators that are out there. These are the two that they settled on. Apple Win for the PC and Virtual 2 on the Mac. Slightly different styles and different approaches. And then, of course, the necessary ingredient of 6 volunteers from the UT community, all of which, none of which had played Ultima II before, and ranged from folks who had never played video games before to avid, self-described avid gamers. Tornado 92 was not among them. I hope none of them did that. So, they did what was called significant property testing, which in academic terms basically means they just put these people... Oh, wait. Alright, play the video. No? Down. Oh. What's weird is I can't see my cursor on this screen, which just freaks me out. Oh, well, okay. So essentially, they did what was called significant property testing. They put people in the room with the game. They did 2 setups, one of which was on the Apple II itself, the Apple II Plus. They actually used an Apple IIc as well, because a lot of people played it on there, as well as a PC and a Mac set up with the emulators. They had them set up the game, launch it. In the case of the Apple II Plus, actually put the 5¼ inch floppy into the drive. Those, for some of y'all, this is just a little tidbit. Back then, when Ultima II was first released, double-sided media had not gotten out there yet, so they actually did 2 single-sided prints, and you had to flip the disc midway through the game to continue playing it, like in Laserdisc. Eventually, they had the brilliant idea of just putting another read head on the top of the drive and boom, double-sided media. So play the game for 15 minutes, moving around the world, attack west, you miss, hit, yay, you're paralyzed. And after 15 minutes, had them switch over to the next platform. Now, they did this for all three, had them go through both emulators, and finally the Mac. And then asked them, hey, well, of all of these, which was your preferred experience? Was it the emulator? Was it the original hardware? Was it the other emulator? So Apple Win scored the lowest. PC emulators have a long way to go. Virtual 2 was a little bit better.